Oh yeah, okay. We're gonna start. Oh yeah, we got the microphone. I should use that.
Yeah. Can y'all move over a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
No, the other way. Did you turn it on?
Oh, we have to do one? I'm okay with doing one, but well, this is cool looking.
That's a real rapper, Mike.
I know. Just drop it out.
Does it work?
Wait, can you hear me? Is my voice just loud all the time? It is. I was kind of like, do we need a mic?
You trying?
Hello?
That's right.
Yo. Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Say more than say just.
I'm just like testing. 1, 2, 3.
Sing something for us.
I'm gonna do Louis Armstrong impression. Holy, just kidding. Well, okay. Thanks everybody for coming. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild getting here. I applied for the grant that funded this and basically saved my ass last year. I applied for that year in this space. I would come in every few days. Ton witnessed it, and I was dreaming about it before it actually came to fruition. And so it was kind of surreal getting the acceptance, like being awarded the grant, and then also knowing that this space was available. And Ton was like just amazing, and Josiah, like you guys. Medicine for Nightmares, this space is incredible, and they get the first thank you. I don't know, you guys have given so much. And I painted you guys, so you know, Ton, really amazing references for every person in here, every picture that I found for all of you. Every person who's on this wall is just a really incredible human. Different creative and artist. Josiah, you know, obviously co-owning the bookstore, but just a really amazing poet. Jenna is this like amazing musician and audio engineer and incredible artist. Seeing you explore your visual art is amazing. Alejandra, just badass radical artist, doing like printmaking and workshops. And you got a really huge grant too. From YBCA, $75,000. Am I allowed to say that out loud? So yeah, this whole show is celebrating every one of these walls. Jen, my partner, who's the love of my life, just opened a tattoo shop with Satan Jerome in the front. Yeah, Filipino led, inspired, and Mama Meg, amazing artist and street vendor here on this wall. She's amazing. Mama Meg, like, fed up. She jump-started the car the other day. Like, she's just done so much. Ton, of course, incredible artist, like, incredible human, like, mind, and I don't know, you have so much wisdom, it, like, blows my mind every time I talk to you. You're just so beautiful. And Josue, my, like, brother and mentor, and he's taught me everything about painting, like, somebody asked me, how did you learn how to do this? And I was like, honestly, all the murals we painted. Like, I wouldn't be able to do anything with color if you hadn't taught me how to do that. And also, I was like doing dry brush on everything, which took forever to paint things. But Angel, who's not here, an amazing young graffiti writer, and just artist. And I don't know, he climbed some crazy spaces. We're like, dude, be safe, but also like make it look good. And then Cece, who's not here, is an incredible Filipino artist who is just like this powerhouse muralist, and yeah, these are the people that I have the capacity to paint. There will be a part. I want to do a part 2 and paint more people. Some of you in the audience, No spoilers. Saint, just kidding. No, but I just wanted to make it. But yeah, you know, all of you guys like are really important to me. So, Crossing Paths, that's what the show is. It's me celebrating people who've had an impact on me, and I do that by painting. But I also want you guys to interact with it after the talk. You can write on these. You can draw. You can paint. I have supplies back there. Think about someone who means a lot to you, who's, I don't know, you couldn't be who you are without them. And no pressure about writing about it. People, sometimes you think of like a specific image or a thing that they love, and I want you to think about that too when you interact with this afterwards. But yeah, I guess that's it. And then I'll pass it to Jen. Bye guys, I'm done.
Wait, I had so many questions for you. You answered a lot of them already, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jen. I'm here to interview Anthony, but he answered a lot of the questions. It's okay. It's great. It's great. Okay, let me refer back to this. So, you already talked about like what sparked the. Well, actually, can you talk about like what sparked the idea of this project? And how you brought it to life. Like you talked about SFAC, getting a grant, how all these people have been integral in your growth here in San Francisco, but what sparked the idea of even wanting to honor these people?
That's a good question. Honestly, I don't know if I would have painted this if we weren't painting murals. I think every project that Josue brought me onto, I was always put onto a face. And the thing that was really beautiful about painting faces was I was now painting people that looked like me. I kind of found that before mural painting, I was painting like white people or drawing white people and not really thinking about like, why am I picking this face, or like obviously I was thinking about social issues and my identity and culture, but like that was something that I got to kind of unlearn while we were painting these murals. We were painting brown people, we were painting Latino, people that looked like they could be my family, and that started to kind of inform all of my work. You know, every practice that we do informs our work, and that's what kind of inspired this. I was painting so many portraits. Every mural had at least one, and these activists, you know, like Yolanda Lopez, we did Dolores Huerta Elementary School. I don't think we painted her specifically, but we were painting like Malcolm X and other people on that, and then Sean Monterosa down the street. You know, he was a powerful young activist. And yeah, that's essentially what informed this. I think if I hadn't have done those, I wouldn't even know what to pitch for the grant. Because I realized, like, what am I doing with my work? We're like asking ourselves as artists, what are we even doing? Why am I yelling out into a void or something? And I was like, wait, I'm like celebrating people and honoring them, and I should do that for a project and have people involved that want to do the same thing. But yeah, I guess that's it.
That's awesome. Okay, so let me see. Let's go skip some of these questions that you answered. So obviously every single person in here is part of community, and because of that, you're able to like really highlight these people. So what partnerships were created throughout this project, and what did you learn about partnerships in community?
That's a good question too. I think medicine was like the first really incredible partnership. I didn't like think about it at the time, you know, like I was already like a regular in here and coming in here, so it didn't feel like a crazy like leap or transition. But as I was coming in and being given this space to create, I started to realize like, well, I'm getting, like I already like love Ton and Josiah, but I'm getting so close to both of you and seeing how you work and how you guys give this space for people to come and express, like you're creating this like fertile soil for us to be activists and organize. Another relationship was SFAC. I really didn't know what would happen. Like I thought I was just gonna get the money from them and they'd be like, we'll check in on you. But they're always sending me things. Anne Tricky, who we contact, like people who get grants from them, she's in contact with us and she'll be like, hey, I saw this mural opportunity and I felt like it was a good opportunity for you to look at. And she'll email it to me and I'm like, what the heck? Like, I thought you guys were just trying to like give money to like check off a box and like, I don't know. but it's more than that. It's kind of been really beautiful. And then also all of the events that happen in here, there's like events happening like all the time. Like at one point, what was it, Tom? Like there was like
28 in February, which was a leap year, so there were 29 days. I think there were 30 in March.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I would be in here painting, and there'd be like poetry happening right next to me, and there'd be like jazz, and then sometimes people practicing jazz, and they'd be like, "Oh, am I distracting you?" And I'm like, "No way, it's like feeding my creativity, it's feeding my mark making." And so that's been really special. It like led to this networking. Like art shows lead to networking, right? But I didn't know the extent of what it would be like. Wait, what? But yeah, that's essentially what happened. It's over.
So okay, so this question. So I guess like being in community and being around community, you said you like are fueled by the energy that is in the space. In what ways, or actually, I guess, let me backtrack. When did you first put this project in SN? And what was that process like, in a nutshell?
Okay, yeah, sure. I installed this show on my like 2 years of moving to the city, like right on my 2-year anniversary, which was February 12th, and that was me. Like that day was really important to me because it was a day that I decided to pursue my art full time and like go see if I could do it. Like I saved a bunch of money, I moved here, and was just like, all right, I'm gonna try to meet people and like go to shows and see how I can make money off of this thing, because I know I can paint and draw, but like I can get better and I want to make a living. And that was also the same day that I started teaching a mural class. So like not only was it me coming here and 2 years had gone by of me painting murals, but then it was another milestone of like, now it's my turn to like pass this knowledge on, which was kind of crazy. So it was like 3 things happening. It was like my 2-year anniversary, my install of my show, and then boom, I had to go teach a class after. It was like kind of a little overwhelming, but somehow I got through it, and then, yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah. Yes. Let's see. So, kind of transitioning to the painting aspect, how did you approach your color palette for the show? Obviously, it's like skin tones, very and all, brown peoples. But yeah, what is your approach to your color palette, and what was your most challenging color to match, and why?
Damn.
It's a lot of questions. But.
Whoa. My approach to my color palette? Damn. Low key, like when we're painting murals, we have tons of colors, like so many. We got like, Josue has like, I don't know how many browns you have. It's tight. It's like burnt umber and like, yeah.
Not enough.
Never
enough.
It never feels like enough. You're always like, what other color? With this, I've been like, it's kind of weird because I'm painting like detailed faces and stuff, but I've been really reductive with my process lately. So I was like, man, I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm just do like 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 green, and white. And then I'm gonna make these colors with that. And that's what I did. I did almost all of this with 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 green, and titanium white. And then sometimes I would do black, but I liked to make black by making like red and this green and like mixing it really hardcore with like making it muddy and ugly, and then it became black. And then so sometimes I would take the liberty and put a little black because like some of this hair is so dark and I wanted that to be like a focal point. But yeah, I really was like, I would say like 4 or 5 colors. And then did you ask me the hardest color?
Yeah, what's the hardest color to match?
Oh my god.
For this project.
I would say not color, but the hardest thing to do is make people glow. Like, I did that really well with Sean Monterosa's mural down the street because we had like tons of browns and tons of yellows and tons of reds. So I could like experiment and push it warmer, and then I would add too much red, and it would be like, you know when like you see a teenager and they have hella acne and they got like red skin, and I was like, oh no, he looks like he has like really bad skincare, and then I have to push it like, but then I was like, it's okay, it's a base, so I can build off of that. And that's the fun thing about painting, is learning to be like, oh, this is like paint covers paint is what we're always saying. So I'd be like, let's make it more warm, let's add a little bit of yellow, and then I'd be like, oh no, he's too yellow and he looks like he has malaria or something. But like, that was kind of the thing, is like, getting the glow is more the bigger challenge. The color is like not the issue. It's making you guys glow and not look like a zombie that's like sick or something. And I'm still struggling with that. Like some of these faces I'm not completely satisfied, but I know that it's the best that I can do today. And the thing that's special is every face made me better when I was painting them, just like you guys all make me better by just fucking existing. And then, so when I got to Janelle at the end, I was like, damn, I just painted hella faces. Jen, I just painted hella faces.
That's like a whole thing.
Yeah. You're good for that. Janelle, Bartholomew the third. Maximilius the. No, but when I got to Jen, I was like, holy crap! Like, I like really know how to push this palette, and like, I don't know, Jen, I was nervous because like, you're my partner, so I want to get you right. But then I was like, yeah, I know, because imagine being like, oh, the shittiest one's you. That would be terrible. That would be awful. Like, but I was like, this has to be like the best, most special one, and it just poured out of me so easily. It was kind of weird. But I was like, damn, it was because I put in the reps. Like, I was just painting nonstop. And then the other one that came out really easy was Mama Meg. Like, I don't know, I just love you so much. Like, that came out like in one go. Some of these are like 2 or 3 days of like, I'd come in, paint, and go teach a class, and then come back. But Mama Meg, like, that was just so easy. It was like bizarre. I thought like after that, oh damn, everything's gonna be easier. Nope. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The glow is the hardest.
Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna say the glow.
No, my friend calls me DJ Glower now because I can do the glow and people. Yeah, she was like, yo, Glower. DJ Glower.
Alright, so I'm gonna pass the questions to the audience. Does anyone have a question for Anthony? Or questions? I'm gonna pass the mic to you. Or you can say that loud. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I want to thank everybody. Want to say something? Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm Anthony's mom. And yeah, I'm so proud of him. Of course, you all probably know that already. And I just want to thank all of you guys, every single one of you guys, and Jen, and thank you for supporting him and being here. Because I'm not here all the time, but I'm always like, thinking, obviously, and sending all my support and heart. And I just want to thank all of you guys for like giving him support, listening to him, keeping him company, working with him. I always told him, do what makes you passionate and be happy. That's the most important thing that I want for you, to be happy and then pursue what makes you happy. It doesn't matter how much you make or none of that. I just want you to be happy, and then everything else is just gonna fall in place. Yeah. Thank you guys.
That is so awesome.
Does anyone have a question at all for Anthony?
The second mama. Hi everybody, God bless you. My English is very bad. I need Josue. I need Josue, please. Are you?
I think he speaks. I think he translates.
Pero no le va a gustar lo que le voy a decir.
No, sí, dile.
Bueno, yo me siento muy bendecida.
All right, that's it. have this beautiful guy
como mi segundo hijo.
as my second son.
Yo soy su segunda mamá,
I'm his second mom,
con el permiso de su mamá.
with real mom's permission.
El arte que él hace es tan especial, ustedes lo
The
saben,
art that he makes is so special, as we know.
porque una cosa es pintar, pero delinear, finas, delicadas.
One thing is, one thing is to paint, but to actually do it with delicate, true lines,
Y que te saquen una foto como esa.
and to be able to achieve a portrait like that,
Esa no es una pintura,
that's not a painting.
es una foto.
It's like a photo.
¿De acuerdo? ¿Están de acuerdo? Sí. Entonces yo a él lo admiro muchísimo,
So I admire him very much.
lo respeto mucho,
I respect him very much.
porque se ha abrido, bueno, él no se ha abierto la puerta, Dios se las ha abierto.
Well, because he's opened doors for him. Well, he's like, well, God has opened the doors for him.
Yeah. No sé si ustedes vieron una exhibición que tuvo en Pancho Villa.
I don't know if you've seen the art that he has at Pancho Villa. It's still up right now.
Levanten la mano que la vieron.
It's currently up at Pancho Villa. Raise your hands if you've seen it.
Yeah. Sí, él es multifacético.
He's a multifaceted talent.
Porque aquella pintura era muy diferente a esta.
Because those works are very different from these works.
Así que es algo que es una bendición especial que Dios lo lleva.
So it's a special talent. It's a special blessing that is
Más
growing and
y
growing.
más. Y
More and more.
algo admiro mucho de él.
One thing I admire very much about him,
Y lo amo mucho.
and I love him very much,
Como que si fuera mi hijo.
as if he was my son. Why are you looking at me?
Con el,
Look at
con el permiso de su mamá.
him. With his mom's permission.
Es que es muy humilde.
Because he's very humble. He's down to earth.
Y no solo es la novia, está de leche.
Not only him, but Jen also is beautiful.
Es una trucha. Está muy linda, muy
She's
linda.
very, very beautiful.
Entonces, yo veo que él es multifacético porque
So I call him, he's multifaceted, he's multi-talented,
pinta diferentes cosas.
because he paints
You
different
know,
styles.
como la arte que exhibió en Pancho Villa eran, ¿cómo se llama?
Like the work he did at Pancho Villa was,
¿Cómo que se llama que no es un dibujo específico?
abstracto?
Abstracto.
It was more abstract.
Abstracto, muy lindo, fuera de serie.
Very
Así
beautiful,
es
very
que
unique.
yo sé que él tiene un buen puesto, pero
I know he has a very good,
pienso que nada ni nadie lo va a detener más.
a very good footing. I know that nothing's
Yeah.
going to stand in his way. Nothing's going to hold him back.
Ya, así es que yo lo admiro mucho,
So I admire him very much.
lo bendigo
I bless him.
y disfrútenlo,
Like, enjoy it. Enjoy it.
disfrútenlo.
Enjoy it. Check. Hey, MF Doom called. He wants his mic back. Check. Is it working? Yeah. Well, I don't know which one of us is going to cry first.
There's been a lot of moments where I want to cry. Well, we're painting on a wall, and I'm like, damn, I'm getting paid to do this.
Okay, that's the interview. How many times do you want to cry?
Because sometimes it's like so hard. You're like, my arm.
No, but I was actually, even this week, I think, I was telling Anthony, I think you mentioned it, I forgot that I say this. I probably say a lot of really forgettable stuff while we're painting, but every time we're painting and we're like breaking our backs, carrying like ladders and buckets of paint and stuff, I look over at Anthony and it's always Anthony, it's always me and Anthony. I got a lot of people helping and doing stuff, but it's always me and Anthony. I was like, Anthony, anybody told you being like an artist is easy? Days of lying. And, I think, artists in the room know that it's a real challenge to, like Elizabeth was saying, Anthony's mom was saying, to follow your dreams, it's a real challenge and it's really hard. But there's a big payoff. And so, Anthony, you've been really brave. I remember I met you, was it your second week or your first week in the city?
Yeah, it was like my second week.
So I met Anthony on the second week in the city, and he was volunteering at a mural. And I had an assistant that day. They were basically flaked. At least. And so, not to put money in the bus. These are the incredible artists. You just couldn't be there that day. COVID, I don't know. We're doing art in the times of COVID, so that's what that happened. And so, post-COVID. And so Anthony, I just heard his voice, this really deep voice. And he goes, yeah, I'm an artist. And he was just talking to some random person in the back. And I was like, dude, you're an artist? And I was like, I need somebody. I just got to like throw me in, coach kind of moment.
Yeah, like put me in with crutches.
No, you were great. And so I was like, okay, there's 100 people that are going to come into this thing. Can you help me manage these 100 people? And Anthony, I mean, aside from what's obvious is the gift of painting really amazing portraits, a gift with portraits, and a lot of other art composition, he has a true gift with people. So I really think be able to witness you kind of as a mentee, but just to know who you're going to be as a mentor and who you are as a mentor. Like, your people are really, really lucky to have you. The students are really lucky to have you because you are a real generous teacher, you know. And so this has been kind of goes both ways, you know, learning and teaching. And so, you know, I think I want to keep it short because I don't want to take up too much space. But really grateful to you, bro. You know, keep doing this thing. Yeah, the payoff is just the start. It's just the beginning. So, a lot of love for Anthony, and appreciate you, bro. I love you. It's like a reverse rose. It's like a reverse rose. Just kidding. I got a couple hands up, but that's for Anthony, right?
Wait, before you leave the stage, Josue, maybe can y'all talk a little bit about, like, I might have met Anthony before that, I'm not sure, but how I really remember was him coming in with you when you had a show and you were painting live in the gallery.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And also, I'm going to ask two questions. Also, Anthony, because I've heard you talk a little about this, the decision, like, and Jen asked you about installation, but like, can you talk a little bit about how this show came together in the gallery? Not just, you were like, and then I installed, what did you install? And what have you been doing since then? And why this brown paper?
Yeah, that brown paper was
5
definitely
questions.
Josue did a piece of brown paper, I think a couple. And this brown paper, actually, people keep calling it butcher paper. It looks like it, but it's not. It's paint mask that you put on the floor so that you don't get mural paint on the street or whatever the surface is. And so, like, when we painted on it, I was like, dang, this takes the paint pretty well. Like, I'm wondering if I can use this to make my show so I can transport it easily. I thought of, I don't know, the show was like a material study. Like, I thought of a bunch of other things to put it on. Like, should I put these on canvas and people can, like, write on the canvas? Should I put it on, like, wood panels? But this just made the most sense, and after kind of seeing you play with that material, it inspired me to pick it up. And then installing it was crazy. That was an entire process. Jen helped me, which was amazing. And we did like museum wax, and it wasn't completely sticking with the museum wax. And then we thought of like pens, and at one point I put like brown tape on the top, and Tawn was so great. She was like, Anthony, can I talk to you? And I was like, yeah, what's up? And she was like, it's kind of ugly. And I was like, I know, it's really bad, but like it's tape, and I just don't know what to do. And it was like a last resort, because the pieces were, the wax would like start to, the paper's just heavy. I like for some of these that are twice as wide, I like stuck them together with matte medium. And so not only is the matte medium in there, but now it's twice the weight. And they were starting to fall. And so I ended up taking tape and like kind of placing it in the back actually. But that was a whole process. That was a whole entire obstacle, was me figuring that out and like learning so much. Like, how do I make this better the next time? Like, what materials should I use? I ordered like a whole different, I know Josue's standing up here like.
I was like, yeah.
He was like, yes. Yeah, he just became like British, like, I can do it. My mediums. No, but yeah, it was a whole that was like an entire challenge, was installing it. They would fall. Josiah was really cool about it, because Jen was like, one day like 3 of them fell and I was sick and Jen came in. And Josiah was like, no, I think it's really cool because it feels like the portraits are alive. And I thought that was kind of cool. Like that's such a Josiahism. I don't know. Like, just him being like, yeah, it feels like they're alive. You know how he talks? But I don't know. That made me feel so much better about it. Like, you guys were so, like, Ton and Josiah were amazing with when stuff wouldn't stay up or I was having obstacles. Like, they're like, what do you need help with? And like, I don't know. It was just way more than I expected. Even you guys coming and like showing up for this. Like, I don't know how many people. Jenna literally helped me set up the food. Like, people are always just showing up in these beautiful ways, and you know, I'm trying to show up by putting a spotlight on everybody. Like, that's how I know how to do it. So yeah, that process is crazy. And this paper is really tight. Like, if you guys want any, I have a lot of it. Mama, man.
I forgot, I mentioned you also paint murals, right?
Yeah, I'm a muralist. That's, for those of you that don't know.
This is another.
Yeah, that's like my main practice. And then, I don't know, grants have been helping me survive. Teaching a mural class has been really cool. Now I'm like figuring out, I don't know, teaching is way different than applying something, right? You know, we've had teachers that are like, you're like, damn, this guy's hella smart, but he sucks at explaining things. So yeah, that's been a challenge for me, is like learning, oh, what are my strengths and weaknesses as a teacher? Now passing on mural knowledge. Like, I've been painting them, how do I communicate that to the kids? And that's been really fun. That's been pretty cool, actually. And yeah, any questions? Oh, look, now there's a bunch. Cool. Yeah, that's the closest.
This is a beautiful exhibit, Anthony.
Dude.
Thanks for sharing your art with everyone. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about like the interactive aspect of all of the pieces, and like how you've been seeing folks interact with the pieces, and whether that was like anything different from your expectation.
Damn, that's a good question. So the interactive component, I have supplies in the back, essentially pencils, paint, pastel, as well. What I want people to do when they look at this show is think about who's had an impact on them, because these are people who've had an impact on me. And the interactive component is after you think of that person, or even a few people, you write about them, if you want to write. In any of these spaces, like there's examples already. The empty brown spaces, you can draw imagery, you can paint, you can even draw them or paint them. But it's an act of stopping and pausing, because everything's crazy all the time, and we need that sometimes from art. And reflecting on people who we love, and honoring and celebrating them. And that's the interactive component. It's also active reflection. Even the people who have come in and haven't interacted, they reflect on that question too. And that's been really cool, because I didn't anticipate that being a form of interaction, but they did become it. And you know, they're curious, and they'll touch the paper and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you're allowed to touch it, you know what I mean? And so yeah, that was a unforeseen interactive component, was allowing them to just think, and maybe they're too nervous to draw too close to a portrait or something. But another crazy one was these people painted in here. It was so wild. I want to tell the story. Jen's portrait hadn't been started yet, but I drew I'm gonna put Jen here kind of thing. And then these people showed up, and me, I just left the supplies. I packed them up, but I left them. And then they just painted the weirdest thing. It was so bizarre. It was but I think it's to honor someone, so I want to add it back into the piece before the show goes down. But they just painted the most bizarre thing, and they put all this paint in my paint palette, so all my swatches were corrupted with other colors. And I was like, oh my god, I have to remix everything. But it was a lesson. That was a big lesson for me with interaction, was okay, even if it's packed and put in a corner, if someone sees it and they read it's interactive, they're gonna pull it out and interact with it. So I had to be like, no way, I'm like leaving it back there in the closet now. Like that doesn't look like you can go in there, right? So that was a big thing that I learned, and another lesson with the process.
And to add, there's art supplies back there next to the food, so eat food, and then also grab some art supplies to draw and write on the pieces after the talk. We have about like 10 more minutes. Jen.
So something that I have really enjoyed in our friendship, I would say in the past like 6 months, is realizing how much you love music. And I think that I've like realized that, I knew that, but I've realized it more recently. And we were hanging out at my apartment one night, and then I have a piano in my, like the foyer area. And Anthony just sits down and starts playing. And I was kind of just like getting art supplies together to go to a gallery. And I was just like really amazed listening to you play, because I hadn't heard you play any instruments. And I was just curious because I'm a very like just like sound and texture kind of visual person, and I was curious how when you're painting a mural or when you're working in a space like this, what is your relationship to the music that you're listening to, and do you associate a song or like a genre to like a portrait or a mural, and does that become like a soundtrack for that for you?
That's such a good question. Yeah, there's definitely soundtracks. Like we have, this is so. Yeah, we listen to so much music that like, I have like a whole playlist when I first started painting like every day nonstop. All those big walls we did in summer that I just called Big Walls, and like that playlist just reminds me of being outside, and like every single track like in sequence just. Yeah, music is like so important when you're making artwork, I think. Don't get me wrong, it can be nice to like have a little bit of quiet, but the medicine, like you guys play like the best records. It's so crazy, like, and sometimes it's like the most insane, like absurd jazz. It's like super crazy, and I'm like, dog, this is so good, like, you know. And then I mentioned like someone practicing with the saxophone, and then someone was playing piano. And they're like doing the improv jazz, and it was like so incredible. Like it just like completely fueled me. The live music is like a whole nother level when you're painting to live music. That is like, I don't know, that's like drugs. Like that's what it feels like. It's kind of crazy. And then the same with the people who are performing the music. Like I'll usually speak to people if I'm painting at an event, and they're like, dude, seeing you create and paint, like that same thing, like it's reciprocal. So that's kind of the really special thing, is like, even though I'm not a musician first, like I'm a visual artist first, knowing that that relationship exists between creatives, even dance, like I've never painted next to a dancer, like doing something amazing, but I know it would push and fuel me and inspire me. So yeah, that's definitely it, the relationship. And I just like, dude, jazz to painting is like insanely good. I don't know, there's just something different about jazz and painting. It's like, I don't know if it's the chaos and the abstract, like, because none of these faces look like anything when you start them. They're just blobs of color, and everything feels ugly in the beginning, and then it becomes this beautiful person or thing. So yeah, jazz and music, like, I need that when I paint. So.
I think it's the first time I've seen your work, and hearing that you're a muralist, I was wondering, how does it feel to have people like write on, like to invite people to interact and write on things here versus like a mural space where you do it? And I'm thinking you probably don't want people to kind of write through things, or I don't know, like how's that work for you?
So we've done like the first project I got brought on to with Josue, the one you mentioned, where he was like, Anthony's deep voice is like, I'm an artist. That was a community mural. That was actually very cool because my idea of murals was kind of like what you were suggesting, which is like you make the art. You know how we perceive art? It's this like white lens of art, which is like, don't touch it, and it has to look like this, and it has to be this, and like if it's not that, then it sucks. Like, and so it was kind of cool to do a community-led mural that was outside of the box. That wasn't how I thought of murals, which is like you let people who aren't artists or whatever you want to, everyone's an artist, like create and paint, and then watch them mess up. And yeah, that was kind of, that also inspired this too, actually, because we did multiple of those. We've done a few, and I've even gone out and been the person that signs up, and then I'm like the one muralist who's there to help, and then the muralist who's leading it is like, what, you're a muralist, can you help me? And then it becomes like, I guess I'm working for free to help this person. But I don't mind, because I'm part of the community, so I want to help community and meet people and talk. So yeah, that is kind of the fun thing about this project and those murals, is like letting people have their mark and leave their mark. Because there are murals sometimes that we're out here painting next to an old mural. One specifically on an elementary school, a gentleman walked by, probably around my parents' age, and he looked at me and was like, oh my God, I painted that fish on that wall when I was like in 2nd grade. And it's still there. And like the fact that it's still there like had an impact on him. And he's like, I know I put my piece into this wall, and like it's always special to me knowing that you guys are out here doing that, because when I got to do it, it was really magical. So it's kind of really inspiring. We're doing our job when we're painting murals and doing what we love, but sometimes we forget that we're like this vessel to inspire other people when we're doing our work. And I think that's a blessing to kind of have that in the job that we're doing, to inspire other people to want to make a mark. Hopefully not graffiti. Graffiti's cool and has its own place, but hopefully not on the mural. But yeah.
We have time for one more question. Anyone else?
I'll just project.
Okay.
What's something that you're looking forward to as you continue in the next stages of this project?
Whoa, that's a good question. Okay, that's such a good question. I've thought about it so many times. I'm a geek when it comes to like art, dude. Like I just eat it, like and watch it. Like I'm obsessed with it. When I made this space, like when I created the space for like this project to install it, I made like a 3D render like on an app, like a super detailed. I don't know if I showed it to you yet. It's like crazy. Like I was like, I want to learn 3D software. And the next thing that I'm excited for is the next space that something like this lives in, because every space is different and informs how you interact and show the work. Like sometimes the next space might be, I mean, it might not be the next space, but Incline Gallery, really incredible gallery. I forgot I had the mic. Really incredible gallery in the Mission on Valencia Street, and next to like Dandelion Chocolate, I think is the closest icon I can think of. That gallery's weird. It's like, it used to be a morgue, I think. So it's all ramps. Yeah. So like that would completely, that's very exciting to me, because I'm like, how do people interact with the work now? That it's like, you have to go, like you can't stand in the center and like look around and like look at every single piece. You have to like go through in this little journey, and it like zigzags in a weird way because you like push the dead bodies and stuff. Yeah, no, it's great. It's a really cool space. So the thing that's exciting is like the gallery and the location dictates like how you show the work and how you interact with the work. And the same with murals too. Like every mural is different. Some of them are like in the Tenderloin, and you're like looking behind you and being like, don't steal my shit. And then other ones are like in Noe Valley, where it's like little old women are like, your art is so great. Ah. So yeah, no, it's crazy. It's like, you're like, oh, you're so sweet. Dude, a lady gave us like $100 one time. It was like, so every, yeah, you never know. Every location is different. Every gallery is different. Every wall is different. That's what I'm excited for, is like, what's the next weird, crazy place I have to paint? Yeah. She literally gave us $100. Like each. Like not even. Yeah.
Okay, so before we end, I have one last question, but before I ask you the question, just like ways to connect and support Anthony, because he's never going to say this, is follow him on Instagram. If you haven't already followed him on Instagram, it's Anthony's Gym. You get some prints in the back if you guys are wanting to support through purchasing print or donating at Anthony's Gym. And then, yeah, last question. What would you like to tell your inner child?
Oh, damn. There's a microphone. What would I want to tell my inner child? I don't know, that you're happy, like that you got to be happy. I don't know. It's like as a kid, like everything. Kids are like, we're crazy. Like we just like block things out. Like this is hella messed up. I saw a kid playing with like a homeless kid playing with toy cars on the street the other day, and I was like, damn, I'm like, you know, it makes you reflect really, like as an artist and as a person in the city, and like think about my childhood and like how fortunate I am to like have this caring mom, Mama Meg, my other mom now, and all these people, and like and yeah, to know that I could like tell myself that version of myself that, you know, I've lived a whole 31 years or whatever, and be like, hey, you're gonna go through a lot of things, but you're gonna be happy at the end. It's gonna be really hard, but you're gonna be happy. So, yeah. Thank you. Oh yeah. Also, thank you, everybody. Like.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming and showing up. Like it means so much. Like you guys don't even know. And thank you, Jen, like my amazing partner. Help me install the show. And yeah, I don't know. I love all of you guys. Even the people I don't really know, like back there, like I don't know. No, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. Please, like, support medicine. Like, amazing bookstore. Look at what they have. What they curate is like incredible. It's so. Yeah, it's really radical and badass, and like POC, like they really think about what they're displaying, and eat food, and please interact with the work. Thank you. That's it.
I know.